Hi everyone, it's Angelon on Mima. Something very unusual is happening to me. Suddenly I feel very cold. I had to get this to keep me warm. Made one for Bilal too. I switched on the heaters even though they're not too strong. I put on thick socks and I'm still feeling cold. I know the last 2 days, honestly, back to back, there were spells coming like rockets. Someone was really like sending spells. It's like we were on a war zone. What you see on the screens, Palestine, Israel, I was feeling it here, my friend. People were just trying to get me out as if I'm the one who started the war, but it was your own bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm not saying this because I even posted earlier. I said, don't look at the bigger, let's look at the bigger picture. Don't look at the religions. The Israel military, Palestine military. Why will you go and provoke people who are very strong, GDP wise, weapon, military wise? Why will you go and provoke them? And in the middle of peace talks, you just come and ambush everything. What is running in your head? What are you trying to prove? There are many ways of killing a rat. And this is a quote, I don't mean real rats here. But there are many ways you can negotiate and talk because people are in the middle of finding a common ground. Someone went and blew up everything. And now people are divided. The Muslim nations are holding on together, yeah. But the Israelis are revenging on the other side, yeah. But let's look at everything in a different perspective. Did you have to do the ambush? There was nothing which was so big to escalate a war. But because of one bullshit, these things are getting out of control. Anyway, now you'll understand why this new moon in Libra is reflecting to this. This was curtain closing. Ask me why. We had our first solar eclipse this year in 20th April. 20th April. Okay. And let's decode numbers. I'm going to do this in a very weird way. I would say mystical way. By the way, before we go further, today somebody was just decoding me the whole day. My hands, the two M's, my pyramid, and the sign here, the V, and this X. Someone was just out there decoding me the whole day. And then this, the crescent, and then the angel lines. I have them. Bilal has almost the same palm like me, and that's why we always get attacked. And I don't understand who, but someone said it was Maria who was trying, was decoding your hands. I have other signs you can't see, like the tav and hourglass and everything. Anyway, I've posted some videos. You've seen that. So why is all this escalating at this point? Do you remember I said, and many astrologers always tell you, the effect of any eclipse can last up to 6 months. And especially solar is something extremely big because solar means it's the central control of the entire universe, the solar system, the ethers, the planets and everything. It's the sun that controls it. So anything which pertains to solar eclipse, it has a very huge impact. Let's go back to 20th April. What happened globally? I will post that after the readings. I will post it. There were worldly events which took place during that. And I remember I did a video. If not, then I think it was notes. I must have sent to someone for one of the moderators to read the work. Because I do have a new moon video. I was just checking it out, and it was something to do with the 33,000 years. I will also repost it about new moon in Taurus. You will see the effect, why all this is happening. It's very, very interconnected. We tend to forget, but the universe doesn't. So the first solar eclipse on 20th April. Let's look at just the vibration of the numbers. 20 is 2 amplified. 2 is all about partnership. The second house, how you earn your money. Partnership in everything that we do. In 2. It was just like that since creation. We need a positive and a negative. We need yin and yang. We need the north and south for everything to balance. For the scale of justice, you need both sides. So it's like balancing the equilibrium. You always need the two opposite energies for it to work. What happened during this solar eclipse? It instigated something. And go back for those who are very good in astrology also. And if I find, I hope I had it as a video. I'll check it and then I post it. Activation there were 2 very strong stars, fixed stars that were activated. Aldebaran was activated and Algol. And even though nothing was so much emphasized, most people overlooked that part of that celestial event. Unfortunately, we are feeling the wrath now, because now it's the grand finale for the period of 6 months. Whatever was instigated in that time, 20th April solar eclipse, now on 14th October, that was yesterday, this took place again. So this energy was like given a second chance, but this time it's like reloaded, part 2, of which now it's whatever was like manifested during April. And I told you 6 months, so let's count. April, May, June, July, August, September. So of course, October, it is activated. It's exactly 6 months, because if you count from 20th April to 20th May, that's the first month. So it's May, June, July, August, September, October. Now this energy has ripe. And that is why we see why all these things happen. Using only the vibrational, let's not even look at the houses first. The vibration of 2, the second house, in our natal astrological wheel, that's Taurus. I hope I'm not losing my voice. I feel like I'm going to catch a cold. That's Taurus. And we all know these fixed stars. We have one which is already, Aldebaran is the bull eye. We all know that. And then we have a star like Algol, which is also a fixed star located in Taurus also at 26 degrees. It's fixed there. So can you imagine these 2 stars were activated, but I think most of it's like it was overlooked. There was already this brewing of tug of war. Who will be the king of the throne? And I'll come and explain this with this new moon. You'll understand. Who's gonna be the king? Who's gonna be the Ra? Who's gonna be the god? Because the sun wants to eclipse these facts, these demigods, or anything which is threatening the norm. Not threatening the Leos or the sun, no, threatening the norms. There was also like Cold War brewing. There was also like an energy element of deception which was going on, and it was like subconsciously activated on the first lunar eclipse. And it had to build until this time. Everything had to burst. And I will explain also again why. The reason is this new moon, this solar eclipse is called Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire. Even though the moon is in Libra, sign of justice, And we have so many planets already there in Libra. We have Sun in Libra, we have Mercury in Libra. And Mercury is all about communication and movement, mental health. It also rules some parts of our body. I'm not going to go into that details, but you also need to know Mercury rules our sister sign Gemini and an earth sign Virgo, whereby now you'll understand why the position of Mercury in Libra at 17 degrees 10 minutes is going to affect Lilith, the dark moon, and Virgo. Because Lilith itself has entered Virgo, and we have Venus also at 5 degrees 2 minutes in Virgo. Venus doesn't do well in Virgo. And it's because Venus is air, Virgo is earth. And the two elements, even though the ruler of Venus is a ruler of a sister sign of air sign, which is Gemini, it still doesn't do well in Virgo because Venus is a sign where it loves luxury, freedom, and not restraint. Virgo is all about work, 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 and it's a hermit sign. So you're forced to go in, deep in within, and Venus doesn't like that control. The only thing now, because of Lilith, 1 degree in Virgo, and it's direct. What does that mean? The dark moon is forced and is forcing everyone to go in within and check itself, self-worth. What does that mean? We all know the dark side of Lilith. Everything about Lilith. Lilith is a dark moon, which means it's not reflecting the light from the sun. So it's operating on a darker version. And that's why it's associated with everything evil. Sorry, I'm not here to insult Lily. And if you're not ready to listen, just go. This is science, what I'm talking about here. And there's a lot of other issues I'm going to talk, and I will be mentioning that. So if you're going to be irritated, just leave. But the nature of Lilith is always something dark. Because it's a dark moon. The moon always gets the light reflected from the sun. But Lilith is always dark because it doesn't even get that light, that energy of the sun. So it's carrying more of the energy of the dark. And that's why most of the things done in Lilith are more like dark world. Even the rituals which are done, you will see they're more like paganism or associated with the satanic stuff and all that. So it's in Virgo, the sign where the hermit is. It's our 6th house. Remember, the 6th is also balance. And then we have a new moon in Libra. And Libra itself, and Venus itself, the ruler of Libra, even though it's direct, it's 5 degrees in Virgo. 5 degrees, it carries more of the energy of Geminian. And that's why we are going to see now, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules also Gemini, and 5 degrees is more like Geminian energy. So Venus is carrying that Gemini energy. You will have to think, you will have to speak, and you'll have to go within and check your self-worth. Do I deserve this? Yes or no? So these are just the beginning. Let's now go throughout the way I've just put down my notes and how I've downloaded it. Libra. This is the time, new moon in Libra at 21 degrees 7. When you add it, it comes to 3 again, which is Gemini. And 7 is justice. What will happen? Let's talk about our physical health first. This new moon and this eclipse will bring up a lot of problems when it comes to our health. That's the first thing it's going to, because these things have been building since the 20th April, the first lunar eclipse. It's been building, I mean solar, it's building and coming and coming and coming, and now it's like poof, the bubble is about to burst. You will find that people are going to find out about kidneys, urethra, veins, urinary bladder. I'm going to give an example, even skin. I'm going to give you an example. My mom, those who are stalking, you have seen my mom was about to be sacrificed. And I'm not surprised, because I did see a message. Friday the 13th, someone with a mask, and it was none other than Jason Derulo. They were trying to take my mom out with the gang of Pluto and the gang of Dubai also, swapping, mistaken. They were trying to play a game here. Someone was literally trying to play a game. Same shit, different day. And this time it was the gang of Dubai, people who are using the line of Asia Dubai, the Farida Toli's mother, and we have Aisha Devalk doing that as well. And then again, the Tanzanian trying it again. But alhamdulillah, prayers will always protect you. My mother prays a lot. Someone mistakes my mom for that Palestinian witch, and we are not. My mom prays a lot, alhamdulillah. She's much better. Her pressure was up. And I also saw someone from Manly Pihol. You know what you have done as well. And Tom Cruise. I'm not stupid. I can read you like a book, and you know that when I decide to do remote viewing, I can see what you do, and I know what you've done. So I will give an example. Like my mother, because the high blood pressure is so high, she has been admitted to the hospital, and she refused to get catheter because she feels dizzy, and because of her age and the way she can't walk properly. So she needs, and the blood pressure medicine makes her pee a lot. So what she needed was, they wanted to put catheter. She said no, and she ends up in Pampers. So what has affected her? The urinary bladder. And this was bound to happen for many people. It will happen. It might not happen immediately when the new moon happens, but it's better if it happens now. Like in her case, it happens now. By the time the full moon reaches, she will see a big difference in herself when it comes to her health, because this new moon and this eclipse has brought something up to get attention. But for those who it's going to start now, and let's say by full moon, or if it appears during full moon, then there is no going back. So sometimes it's better a disease to happen or an ailment to appear during new moon, and you fight through it. By the time you reach full moon, you get cured. But when it hits you on full moon, I don't know if people who are doing medical astrology, I'm sure you're aware of this, or if you're not, then this is how it works. When you hit it on, when you get it exposed during the full moon, chances are the healing it's like it has reached its maximums. That's why it's coming out, and it's the grand finale. So those are the two differences: ailment during new moon and ailment during full moon. And during eclipse, why are people advised to stay away from a lot of surgery? During the ancient times, whenever there was an eclipse, people will stay away from any sharp object. Swords, even those who are fighting, like fighters, they will reduce their practices, because anything, even surgeons, they will not go for surgery, anything to do with cutting, nothing. And the reason is because during the eclipse, the power of these energies normally is to eliminate. It's the power of elimination. So when you go through operation, chances are, it's always been like that. Go back to the records. If you're a doctor and you're just curious, or if you're just curious also, you can check, not only doctors, you can even check online. You'll find that people who have gone through or gone under the knife during the eclipse season, they have lost more blood, and most of these surgical deaths, they always happen during the eclipse season. And the reason is because the power of the knife, anything sharp and anything which comes out as a blood, the eclipse always eliminates more than what is needed. So whenever there's an opening, it's just, it sucks. And people end up bleeding more. And it's just by default because the veins are being affected. It's all about elimination. So anything with a cut, it will always be an extra. So during ancient times, even wars were mostly they were always trying to keep wars away from the eclipse season, because they have sages. They use sages and astrologers. They will never try to, unless they know this is going to be like a blood death, then they will go to war during the eclipse season, because chances are the strongest team is going to eliminate the weak ones. That's by default. Ask any historians, they will tell you that. Unless you are strong, then go to war during the eclipse season, especially solar season. The solar eclipse is all about kingdoms. It's all about reigning, the seat, the throne. And if you don't have the nerve to fight, because it's a war of gods, and I'll come and explain why, it's the war of gods, what do you expect? It's going to hit you. And that's why we have this ring of fire. It's the ring of fire that is affecting us. The last time we had an eclipse in Libra, such an eclipse, it was in 2016. That was the last time. So go back, for those who have diaries or you just have good memory, go back in 2016. What happened to your life when there was a solar eclipse in Libra? Trust me, whatever happened back then, it will come back and you'll have a revisit. Mostly, it's about relationships. Remember, I told you the first solar eclipse this time, it happened in 20th April. So that's number 2 now. You understand why I used only the 2? I didn't want to go into details, just that 2 number, just the number. And Libra is all about relationships. So things which happened in 2016, be it a relationship with a family, work, anything that you did, believe me or not, this thing is coming back for revisit. Either for renewal or you're going to put it to rest. How is this going to affect you? Another round of 6 months. Another round of 6 months. You will have to make a decision. Should you fail to do it, the universe is going to step in and it will permanently make that decision for you. If, let's say, mostly it's going to be renewals to most, but for others, this is more like you're putting the last nail in the coffin. If you were expecting maybe somebody to come back, this thing is going to blow away and it won't work. But if it's for others, then it's going to work very much better. So what normally happens when an eclipse occurs? It occurs when the moon, for example, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, either totally or partially. And this always obscures this image. And that's why we have this type. That's why you see this dark part is always invisible. That's how we create an eclipse. Why is this solar eclipse called annular? Annular eclipse. Annular, scientifically, is a ring. And it's a word which is derived from annulus, meaning a figure formed in 2 concrete circles. So it's like tube, it's like this, a circle and then another circle. These 2, that's the part we're referring to, annular. That's why we call that space, which now reflects also the light, because the rest is dark. And that's how that form of the ring of the fire is being formed. It's because of this annular. Now, if you go back and look at what is really annular, You will not believe. In the Egyptians now, there are people who are very good in Egyptology. They will tell you also. In the ancient times, especially in the Egyptian deity of gods, Ra, which refers to God's sun, and we know Luna is more Latin, but there was also this knowledge was also in Egypt, and it's moon. So Anular, if you read it back, it's Ra Nula. Ra Luna, sorry, Ra Luna, which means the sun and the moon. And imagine the sun and the moon are all meeting in Libra because the sun is at 21 degrees. And when you look at the moon, it's also at 21 degrees Libra. So you see there's Ra, the male, the sun, and then we have the moon, the female, the Luna. And this is how they come also. Scientifically, it's a nullus. But when we look it and we decode it, decoding, as I said, just like Arabic, you can read from right to left. Like the Jews also, they do that even in Kabbalah and all that. Because it's annular, but when you read it this way, it's ranula, ra luna, sorry, ra luna, the sun and the moon. And they're all meeting in the sign of justice. So there will be a lot of pressures when it comes to patriarchies and matriarchies deities from the gods and even in our lineage and ancestry. The last reading I remember angel messages for those who are Libra, and I told you, you're clean, you have no karmic debt. So we all have karmic debts, okay. But you have not done anybody dirty. We got the cards of ascended masters, and I did say there will be a lot of justice coming down. So this is the time you're going to see your ancestors stepping in, clearing everything. And things which happened in 2016 are going to resurface. And you're going to see a lot coming back. I will give you my own example. 2016, that's the time I decided, okay, I'm coming back. Things were moving very fast for me down in Kenya. And I was doing my Zumba projects and all that, other small things. And then, as I said, my enemy, who happens to be here also, and always follows my work, came in and destroyed everything. I'm not here to blame you. I'm a firm believer of fate, but you had a very strong hand in what I was doing out of jealousy. And some politicians, they had to thwart what I had to do, and those are emergency. I had to come back here. That was in 2015, 2016. 2016, it's like the most now. I'm like, okay, I'm here. And I had to shut everything. This eclipse now is bringing back everything. Already I have slowly started my project about Zumba. Someone stepped in, they want to take it. I was already starting something to do with the gemstones and precious metals. Somebody started to step in and try to destroy everything. This is the time you're going to see these people who are trying to come in between more with the karmic energy. These people are going to be destroyed to ashes. And I will explain to you why. What will destroy them to ashes? First, Algol, the star Algol. This is the star that is going to totally destroy these people. Algol and Aldebaran, these are located all in Taurus. Jupiter right now is in Taurus and it's in retrograde, which means recollecting wealth, opportunities from the past at a grand scale. And this ring of fire is out here, more like Saturnian energy. And for those who didn't know Algol also is the same as, if for those who have been with me, I spoke about the types of jinnis, and I've spoke about al-ghul and al-ghula. That's in Arabic. The type of a jinni that stays in the desert, this jinni entity doesn't die. It just lies on the grave, and anytime they get a chance, especially women who are pregnant, it enters in that body of that person, and by the time that child is born, you give birth as a mother thinking you have a normal child, but your child is already synchronized with this jinni, and it will never leave that baby until the child dies. The day you bury that child, even if they're adults, let's say the person that is dead, the day they're being buried, the genie stays on top of the grave, waiting for the next victim. This is how they operate. They are more. These are their origin comes from the deserts, but they're everywhere, all over the world. But they like places like desert, where it's clean. There's no plants, nothing. That's where they survive. And Algol carries that energy. And even this genie, if you look it together, it's also called the Gogo of Medusa. I can say, those who know the Medusa, what is that's from the Greek now, that is, but I don't want to touch about that. I'll just leave it there. But it carries that energy, and unfortunately, Algol also has the dark side, just like Lilith, dark side of the moon. Algol carries the dark side of Capricorn, of Saturn, planet Saturn, which means it likes to restrict things. It likes to destroy things. It doesn't want to see people expand. So it holds you like this. And that's why this kind of genius, they are very, very destructive, because their life is all about destruction. These people don't know anything about unity and pairing. No. If they see such things happen, they will destroy it. And they normally carry the nature of Mars, Uranus, and Pluto. Mars is all about fire, war, and such things. Uranus, it's all about, unexpected events. And then Pluto destroying everything to the end. And this is the nature of Algol. And Algol empowers. It's a fixed star, but it empowers this genie. See how they all connect. They empower this genie. They carry this genie energy of Al-Ghul and Al-Ghula. I have those information. I've posted it several times, and I know there are people who have this. You can share those notes out there and explain about these types of genie. This is a very nasty genie, and that's why Algol is not one of the best stars to be associated with, because this Newmoon also has energetically activated Algol. And that's why we see what is happening right now with Palestine and Israel and Lebanon. And until until the real person who's supposed to sit on the table, on the chair, like the king, the Ra, takes over. And I don't mean the Ra here, okay? This is just, I'm talking about in general. The war will keep on escalating until a solution is found. There must be a winner and there must be a loser. That's the type of energy, because I'm telling you, this Algol is going to keep on pushing until this energy of Pluto is all about destruction. And of course, Uranus is at 22 degrees right now in Taurus, and it's also in retro. So these are things which were from past life. Look at for example, we need Pluto. We need Pluto, Uranus, Mars, and these are the strong aspects of Algol. Look at them where position. Pluto is at 27 degrees 53, and it's in Capricorn, direct. And this is all about restriction. And 27, when you add it, it comes to 9. So it's about to end something. They don't care. We have reached enough. We've had our nose full. It's now or never. That type of energy. So Algol is just like, it's at its worst. I will say, that's why they call it Gog of Medusa. It's more like Gog of Magog. It's all about destruction until I get what I want. Uranus is at 22 degrees, Taurus, retro. 22 is 4, which means stability. And that's where the house of Algol is. And it's not very far from Algol because Algol is just 26 degrees. 22 degrees, already they're like smelling each other. And being in retro, so it means it's moving back and it will touch Algol and hell is going to break loose. So there will be a big one, a big blast before peace comes. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And also for our personal lives, things which were ruthlessly taken from you, as I said, look at your life 2016 when this solar eclipse happened in Libra. What happened to you? That is when you're going to find whatever you lost back then, the universe now and your ancestors, as I said, Ra Luna, your matriarchy, patriarchy is fighting to bring this justice back and gift you what was taken away from you. Even if it's your happiness, even if it's your smile, your health, whatever, it's going to be coming back. But it's not coming in a golden plate. Because by the time it reaches you, people will be in ashes and there will be destruction, there will be casualties for it to reach you. There must be, it's like, there must be a war or there must be a fight for you to get your justice. That's the only way out. There is nothing like right now it's going to get. And I'm telling you, it's going to get worse because the planets are retrograding, moving behind. By the time it reaches the same 26 like Uranus, we are going to even see like real world celestial events happening, like an earthquake that can shake a world, like a whole city, and it will gonna be a talk of the town. We're gonna have floods or massive death. Something is just ending. Buildings collapsing, like Pluto type. Whatever you lose, it is like to ground zero. It's not, and it's not reversible. So that type, may God protect us. But I'm telling you, this is like Gogo Medusa. And I've been talking about the activation of Gog and Magog energy. There's a crack. Trust me, we are going to be feeling it. Give it a week or two. Give it a week or two. There will be something that is going to happen. Very unusual and very unusual. Globally. It can happen anywhere. I don't want to go deeper. But that's what's about to happen. And as I said, we will need Pluto. And Mars is at 1 degree in Scorpio. My oh my. Scorpio is the house of death. So yes, we are going to see a lot of massive death. And that's what a whole likes. Destruction, death, blood, all these things. It's the ring of fire. So it's like we're dancing in circles, but you can't escape. The only ticket way out is either you speak your truth, you have to drop what it is. It's like you've been maybe getting away with everything. This time, there is no way out. The rings are 2, not 1. See, the rings are 2, not 1. And you have to know, there is 27 degrees in Capricorn. Capricorn is the planet with the ring, which causes restriction and protocols and all that. So it's like locked. And this will help the energy of the Capricorn, which is also the dark side of Lilith energy. Lilith uses the dark side of Capricorn also. They use this and to attain what they want, but in the dark way. So what is going to happen? That's why we have this ring of fire. We have fire breakouts everywhere. And for somebody to break free in real life from the misery, you will have to burn. And that's Pluto, for you to get out of that ring. And since it's Capricorn, this Saturn energy, locking everything, 2 rings, what is going to happen? Ra is fire. We all know Ra is fire. But the only thing now, it's Libra is exalted. I mean, Capricorn is exalted in Libra. So Capricorn at this point is helping to bring that justice by amplifying its energy to get the correct justice and answers. And that's why we have this ring, which is a nullus. That is why it is formed that way scientifically. But when you look at the ancient Egyptian energy, it's also associated, believe it or not, with Thoth. That's the god. Apart from Ra Luna, we know Ra is the main god, the sun. Luna, we have the moon. But when it comes to this deity of gods, it's also associated with Thoth. And we know Thoth is the, I carry that energy as well. That's it's a very strict god, Egyptian god, but it's all about wisdom, writing, and yeah, when it comes to war, it's a nasty one also. So we have, it's more like we have a lot of war gods here trying to bring something from the past life back, trying to revive and bring justice to those who are oppressed back. And but it doesn't come, as I said, with golden plates here. It doesn't come with that, because as I noted here, this ring which is formed, the ring of fire, was believed to be an omen of the top god deity was going for war to eliminate situations, e.g. Wars for wealth, and it's for better and for worse. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. So long as justice comes, yes, it will come, it will come, it will come, and it will happen. What are the aspects? And as I said, since 2016 it has not happened, and it's happening now. There is relationship renewals. You're going to see people in the past that cut you off. Of course, after 2016, my life changed. Many people have stopped talking to me. When my business and everything, including my identity, was stolen, everything changed. I've lost, it's like I was one person who had many connections and was talking to everybody. My phone was always ringing. Everything changed. This thing is about to change now. There's a lot of renewals, but whoever is coming back now, you're going to be evaluating yourself. You're going to be wise. That's why we have this Thoth energy also. And it will guide you. There's wisdom. It will guide you. Take this person as a friend or leave them. Don't take them. So you're going to get the right guidance. Just listen to intuition. And when the sun and the moon meeting in the signs of the scale, it brings justice to, as I said, both maternal and paternal side. If you have gone through a lot of lineage, generational trauma, karma, curses, this is the time. If you have done the work, you're going to be set free from that ring of fire. But if you have amplified that, they're going to be putting you in that ring of fire, and my oh my, you're going to be dancing in the fire for the rest of your life until your last breath. It's a lock or unlock type of energy. The solar eclipse will also be conjuncting the south node in Libra. It's all about south node. We know it's all about taking things out, and it's at 25 degrees right now, if I'm not wrong, because north node is 25, so the other axis definitely is in 25. South node, which is in Libra, north is in Aries. And what happens here is, again, it's 7 if you add it. Justice. It's all about justice here. And this will address our past life karma also. What we permanently need to release. This can be karmic family, karmic parents, karmic partners from your past life, family, anything, career that you will have to get rid of. Is more like a rebirth, but you need to observe what has happened. And if I'm not wrong, even apart from ascended masters, when I did the angel reading, we also got the card under Libra, past life issue. So these are issues, and that's why we have this new moon in Libra. That's energy is going to be for everyone here. Everything which comes from your past life. For people who don't believe it, trust me, it does affect our lives. There are people who are stuck in this lifetime. It's because of the unfinished business in the past. But this is what is going to happen, because the solar eclipse, the sun and the moon, they are all conjuncting and under Libra with the south node to help you release what you don't need in life. It doesn't have to be also in past life, even in this current life. What you don't need is going to be just eliminated immediately. And then we have things like unhealed wounds. Maybe you have been suppressing a lot of pain inside you. You have trauma inside you. This is the time you have to release it. Purging, purging, purging. So many people are going to be just crying in their own and maybe reminiscing about the past. If you're the type who can't express yourself or talk to somebody, write down. I have that tendency. I find it very hard to express myself, like telling people what I gone through in details. Maybe I'll just give you a hint or just express a little, but the real trauma, I always put it down, and it really works. It helps. If you can't talk, just put it down. It's going to help you a lot. And then we also have it's going to refine our commitment tendencies and patterns. Maybe in your past life you are a player, you just hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. This life, it's affecting you now. You find it difficult. Why can't I settle? Why can't I do this? Why things are not going? Yeah, it's because of your past life. So you will have to go back and look at the bigger picture here. Why do I have these patterns in my life? Why is this thing keep on repeating? You ask for help, ask the universe to help you, and you're going to get that help. Trust me. Spiritually, it's going to come, whether you believe this or not. Just ask the universe. The law of attraction will work on you, because this is very strong with the lunar and Ra energy. It's going to help you to cleanse and get rid of those bad habits, and you can refine yourself. It's like, let me reintroduce myself. I am ABCD and I used to be known as XYZ. So that kind of energy, like a rebirth. So I can say we are going to be seeing people who are more spiritual also. For example, if you're a Christian, you might have the urge, maybe you want to go to a church and confess to a priest. Or for others, and I'm seeing this is going to happen for many people, they want to go, like baptism. They believe that when you're baptized, you're rebirth. That kind of energy, maybe your spiritual guides are going to push you through that. And for example, if you're a Muslim, you might feel the urge to take a spiritual journey. I want to go for Umrah and I want to clean, anything spiritual journey. I want to go cleanse myself and I want to be a better person. If you have put the work. If you have put the work. If you have not, it's a different story. It's a different story, because they're going to throw you now. Your own guides are going to throw you in that ring of fire because you fail and you don't want to do the work. Despite the South Node trying to pull everything out, you still want to hold on into your old habits. So it's going to throw you in the ring fire. And trust me, it's going to be like that for the rest of your life until the day you leave this world. And unfortunately, this is where now that hula energy, that algol energy is going to jump in and hug you. And you might end up having this type of genie, or this, I'm not scaring you, but it's the star. It's going to activate this energy. And this is not directly to have that genie, but it is that activation of that energy that is going to be embodied in you. And you will just be a distraction to the society, to your family, or even to yourself. You have seen people who are just self-destructive, taking drugs, alcohol, destroying your own family, and this and that, until you feel like, I want to take myself out. And some, they will do it. They will end up committing suicide because of this. This algol energy is all about Pluto banning you, Uranus, something unexpected, and Mars, it's all about bestowing or destroying. So it's like you will have a battle also with your nafs, with your own self. I want to make a change, or they're going to swallow me. And I will just have to surrender and lose myself for the rest of my life. So personally, people are going to be affected that way. Then we have the Sun Moon conjunct Mercury, which is positioned at 17 degrees 10 minutes. Opposing Chiron in Aries, which is also at 17. And it squares Pluto and Capricorn. There we go. I've explained. Pluto carries this energy of Al-Ghul energy in Arabic. And Capricorn, as I said, those rings of fire formed in the eclipse, they reflect. It's like Capricorn is giving a pass and helping the Libra energy, the Libra energy, the Venus. I'll help you to put these people in their place, because we all know Capricorn is the only place it's exalted is in Libra. The other signs, it's very serious with them. So it's more like, bring me those culprits here. I'm going to put them in the ring of fire and I'm going to torture them for the rest of their life, because they refuse to follow the protocol, ancestral energy, and all the rules. Because Capricorn, that's what it rules, including, you see, the Hierophant, the keys. So you refuse to do the job, you refuse to follow the protocols, come here, I put you in the ring of fire. And that's why the square is there. Pluto, which is not good. And we will be forced to address the weakness of self-sabotage through importance of communication, which brings clarity and awareness. This is also the type of Peter Pan syndrome. People who more like, they do things and think they get away. They're Peter Pan. When you tell them, they keep on repeating them. They are going to grow up. Whether you like it or not, with this type of energy, you're going to grow up. Another thing is also the type of self-sabotage when it comes to communication. People who, like, there are people who are just, that's what I'm telling you, self-destruction is a key thing here. You're going to destroy yourself because of this type of energy. Lack of communication and also clarity, awareness. And when you try to self-sabotage yourself, you're thinking you're avoiding that problem. Unfortunately, you're building it up, and this is how you're gonna be sucked into that square. And since Chiron is a wounded healer, it takes time. It's just going to remind itself of its pain, and Saturn will go like, listen, if you're gonna have your pity party there, then come, let me put you in this ring, and Pluto, finish this person once and for all. So that pity party might end up into a suicide. I'm gonna be honest. These rings is more like hanging yourself, destroying yourself, because you will reach a point you can't find your way out. And remember, we have that in Mercury. Mercury is all about communication, the mind. It's all about movement. You don't want to use it the right way. You want to play games. You want to sabotage yourself, be a Peter Pan syndrome. No problem. No problem. What is going to happen here? That 1 degree Scorpio, where Mars is, it's going to destroy you. It will be self-destruction. Yourself. You're destroying yourself. You're going to be put in that ring and you'll have to destroy yourself. Nobody's going to. That's what I'm saying. The Peter Pan syndrome will have to, you'll have to eclipse it, and you have to grow up. Force yourself to address your weakness, and you will understand the importance of communication and self-awareness for yourself also. Then we have Venus opposing Saturn. What does it mean? One sentence, or should I say 3 words. Know your worth. This is the time you'll come to understand, are you a doormat in someone's life? Or do you play any role in anybody's life? If you don't recognize that now, you will never recognize it anymore. Because at this time, we have Saturn in Pisces at 0 degrees. So it's like Saturn is about restriction. We all know that. Protocols, ancestral energy, and it's in Pisces, the 12th house. So what does that mean? Your ancestors are right at the doorstep looking at you from the past. Are you going to address what has been eating you up from the past? For others, 2016. For others, your whole life, what has happened in the past. Are you repeating the same mistakes? You let people walk over you. You're just a doormat. Do you know your self-worth? So your ancestors are like just watching you. Do you want the key? Do you want to be better? Both matriarchy and patriarchy. Or do you want to destroy yourself? Then here we are. because Pisces is also a sign of self-destruction. Why? Because it's all about escapism. That's when you will find yourself introducing yourself to taking drugs. Take something that is just taking your thoughts away, and the next thing, you have destroyed yourself. Again, Algol is ready to hug you. And Saturn, your ancestors, their culture, whatever it is going to be handing you over out of that lineage energy and hand you over to Pluto and let you destroy yourself through the Algol star, which Al-Ghula, the type of genie energy. It's a star, but it's radiating that strong energy of Ghul and Al-Ghula, the genies, at this point. Which signs are going to be affected mostly? Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aqua, and Pisces. Everyone is going to be affected, but we are going to feel it more. We will feel it more. Venus is with the black moon, as I've explained earlier, Lilith. And normally Lilith is all about addressing the point of shame or repression. And when it connects together in Virgo, and because Venus is at 5 degrees and Lilith is at 1 degree respectively in Virgo, this is all about, you'll want to assert and look into independence. It's like the autonomy for independence. Like, will I want to stay in the dark? Because Venus is all about luxury, and Venus is a sign that shows off. Lilith is a sign we likes to do things behind the scene. Everything about Lilith is dark. Sorry. Personally, I was played by the gray Lilith here, and you know what happened. They took my signature, forged papers, and the next thing, they were running an entire business here. Without giving me the right information, they came with the wrong information, pretending to be tech people here. And the next thing, they betrayed me. So that type of energy is Lilith. They don't come clean. They always have a hidden agenda for self-destruction or destroying you, or there is always something dark about it. It doesn't come clean like the moon. You can see the light and it's bright. No, it's dark. So you don't know what they do below the belt. That's the type of energy. But in Virgo, because it's an more like introvertic energy, they will sit and think like, do I need to do this? And it's 1 degree, the 1st degree. So by the time the Lilith finishes its transit, you will have a choice, because the next sign you're going to jump into is Libra. That is where you're going to be judged. So it's like you're given a grace period where you have to make your decision. Are you going to stay in the dark? And because you don't want to come out because of this shame, it has a point of shame. Because whatever the Lilith energy is doing in the dark is always something unethical. So coming out is normally like, do I need to say? Do I need to address this? But what will the world say? What is the community going to talk about me? No. It's all about you. So this is the time until it finishes its transit in Virgo. By the time it jumps into Libra, game over. Game over. The judgment will come, and it's not going to be well if you have not done the job. So right now it's at 1 degree. It's addressing you. This new moon, this eclipse is addressing you. And because we have a very good conjunction here, whereby the solar nodes are conjuncting the south nodes in Libra. So it's the best time for you now addressing yourself. And if you know you have dark traits, and go like, you know what, I'm ready to go within the hermit mode style and address my problems, even if it's going to be a shame, but I want to purge out and release. By the time the black moon, the Lilith reaches Libra, when the judgment comes, okay, I'm taking my slap, but I've done the job. So it's like Maybe you are supposed to be hanged, but because you've done the job, I'm just talking quote unquote. Maybe you had a bigger problem, but because you've done the job and you only end up with maybe 2 slaps instead of 100 whips, that type of energy. So your karma is gonna be a little bit reduced if you do the work. Algol, this is the one now, which is just crazy, crazy, crazy. You know, Algol is considered as Horus in Egypt calendar, and it's located 26 degrees Taurus. It's a fixed star, and it was activated, as I said, in new moon solar eclipse also. That was in the May 9th. There was a full moon and to Scorpio opposing the sun in Taurus. Now, solar eclipse will break us free, opposing Aries in regards to self-worth, sexual relation, toxic Aries. In fact, this is where I'm telling you, because of the North Node. The North Node, the South Node is going to be conjunct with the solar eclipse, which is directly affecting you because you're carrying it at 25 degrees in your axis, Aries sign. You will need to address, before your doors are open, Aries, there is something which is standing there. And this is affecting all Aries. Sun, moon, rising. There is something which is stopping you there. And if you have a moon also, moon sign there. The thing is toxic relationships and tendencies. If you have narcissistic traits, you know, Aries are more like big babies, baby boss. They're the babies in the zodiac, but they want to boss everybody. So this is where they're going to be, you know, like your North Node is locked until this problem is addressed. And it's something that maybe you don't even give or pay attention into. Pay attention, but I'm going to tell you, look at your environment. Who are your friends? Do you hang with toxic people? They're blocking your north. What about your self-worth? Do you even value yourself? Do you love yourself? That it's healthy to say no sometimes? If something doesn't serve you well, not being selfish or egoistic, no. You know this is not right. I might say okay to something, but in reality, I'm hurting somebody else. For me to gain, I have to hurt somebody else. That's unethical. So that means you don't love yourself. And we're always told, love yourself, love your neighbor like the way you love yourself. And I don't mean neighbor, as in anyone around you, even a stranger, even if you don't know this person. The other things is about your sexual relations. You will be forced to address this before your north is open, your north node. Blessings. Your sexual relations are also coming into the picture this upcoming, this new moon solar eclipse. And this will, as I said, the energy lasts up to 6 months. You will be forced to check at your sexual relationships. Were you sitting in a toxic relationship because you don't want to lose your comfort zone? If that's the case, my dear, the universe is about to whoop your ass or lock you in that relationship forever so that you can continue to suffer and you will lose your north. This is what is about to happen. Because it's more like a checkmate season. You're either in or out. It's do or die. That type of energy. And as I said, Algol also is the head, as the Gogo Medusa. The word Algol is derived from the Arabic word, whereby I said it's al-ghul and a demon also. And it's also meaning alcohol, whereby that's why I'm saying your ancestors, especially Capricorn position, 0 degrees in Pisces, Pisces rule alcoholism also. So your own ancestors are going to throw you to become an alcoholic and you finish yourself. And it's through this alcohol, the fixture. It will help you to do that. Drink yourself and drown to death. That's how it's going to be. And the main thing that's going to be affected also is the kidneys, because we have it here. It's already activated. The kidneys, ureter, veins, And if you're a person who uses drugs, because Pisces is a sign of escapism, that's the dark side of Pisces. People who use drugs and anything just to get away, get high and escape from reality. If you don't want that healing to step in, then trust me, they will be giving you the last key to eliminate yourself. In the next 6 months, if you don't fix it, I'm sorry, we will not have you here anymore. I'm going to be honest. This is so strange because it's all about the past life and it's all about healing your past. Things which have been affecting you for a very long time. Justice that was not given since 2016. All this is coming back to bite those people who played dirty via the Lilith dark moon. That is, they were doing things underhandedly. It's all going to come back.